starts right now.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us for the new NC9 Today. I'm Linda Ong.
I'm Daniel Martinez. It's a little after 6:30. Let's go ahead and take a look outside as the sun comes up over El Paso International Airport. I wish I was flying somewhere today on this Wednesday because it is so cold in El Paso. It was freezing when I left my place this morning, and we're going to stay cold, right, Monica?
Yeah, so we're going to stay fairly chilly throughout the entire afternoon. Look at that beautiful sunrise. Wow, I mean, that's the only thing pretty about this morning, right? The sunrise, because it's so
At
cold.
least it's not windy.
At least, yeah, that is a good news. And you know what? We're going to stay with these really nice light winds all day long. I mean, it is going to turn out to be a really beautiful day. It's just going to be cold. I don't like the cold weather. Take a look. This is what I'm talking about. 29 degrees in El Paso. You're looking at 17 in Las Cruces. And look at those really nice light winds, right? You're going to be seeing light winds throughout the entire day. Not too bad, but these winds are enough to make you feel a lot colder than it actually is. Take a look at this. Right now, you're feeling like you're 8 degrees in Las Cruces, 8 degrees. And in El Paso, you're feeling more like 24 degrees at this point. So again, very, very cold, very, very dry. Keep that in mind as well. If you do have any pretty much allergies, they're not allergies. You're just going to feel the sniffles this morning for those of you who are pretty much not accepting well this cold air. Look at this. We are seeing mostly clear skies. We're going to continue to see these mostly clear skies throughout the rest of the afternoon, which means we'll slowly heat up here. I'll tell you exactly how warm we'll get coming up in just a little bit. But right now, if you do want to go golfing, well, your El Paso Honda Golf Index is a 5. Pretty cold out there. And as far as your TxDOT cameras go, I-10 and Geronimo looking really nice and clear at this hour. Not a lot of traffic at this hour, and our Waze app is pretty much showing us the same exact thing. We're really not seeing a lot of traffic or any major delays to talk about this morning. Daniel, Linda.
Thank you, Monica. Well, health officials in Dallas say they have identified a case of Zika virus they believe was transmitted through sexual contact.
The case is here in Texas, in Dallas. The CDC says this is just the third known case linking Zika to sexual activity. Health officials in Dallas County say the case involves a patient who had sex with someone who had become infected with the virus in Venezuela. Zika, as you know, has been linked potentially to birth defects.
And new on today, cell phone video from inside a plane after an apparent explosion blew a hole in the side of the aircraft. CNN is reporting one person was sucked out and killed. This happened late last night on a flight over Somalia. It's not clear yet what caused the blast. This is all under investigation.
Wow.
And this morning, Democratic and Republican presidential candidates are setting their sights on New Hampshire.
Hillary Clinton fresh off her now official win in Iowa, and Donald Trump trying to regain his spot as the GOP frontrunner. NBC's Edward Lawrence is in Washington.
All right.
New Hampshire is one of the smallest states in the nation. This week, it's the center of national politics.
I'm pretty excited about where we are because I believe that people in New Hampshire are going to make the right decision.
Republicans see a crack in Donald Trump's armor. He finished second in Iowa to Senator Ted Cruz.
We are going to beat Hillary Clinton, and it won't be by a flip of a coin.
Senator Marco Rubio surprised everyone, almost beating Trump, finishing a close third.
We got the biggest vote ever in the history of a primary in Iowa. By like 60,000 people came out extra. I'm not going to say that was me, but believe me, it was me.
Trump says he'll win New Hampshire. Political experts credit Cruz's incredible ground game for the win in Iowa.
We're going to continue doing what we did in Iowa, here on the ground in New Hampshire and South Carolina, working to build the grassroots army.
Meanwhile, Senator Bernie Sanders says he raised $3 million in donations since his moral victory in Iowa.
If we bring out large numbers of people, we are going to win next Tuesday.
This is the first in the nation primary. Nobody takes that responsibility more seriously than Granite Staters.
Clinton trails Sanders in recent New Hampshire polls by double digits, but she hopes to turn that around. Hillary Clinton considered focusing on the races after New Hampshire. Because of Bernie Sanders' lead, she decided to stay and fight this week to try and close the gap. Edward Lawrence, NBC News, Washington.
Your time now is 6:36. New this morning, the city of Sunland Park has a new interim city manager. In a split vote, Bob Gallagher was appointed as city manager. This comes weeks after Gallagher, a former chairman of the NMSU Board of Regents, had told council no thank you. Gallagher will serve as interim manager for the next 6 months.
The death of a 16-year-old boy in far east El Paso County is now a homicide investigation. Deputies say they found Michael Anthony Tapia's body Sunday evening in Montana Vista. Investigators haven't said how he died, but they do say he was already dead when they arrived on the scene. Now they need your help. Call authorities if you know anything.
And new information on that deadly collision we told you about yesterday morning. Police have identified the man who crashed into a flight of stairs at the Sunrise Shopping Center along Dyer in northeast El Paso. Investigators say for some reason, 58-year-old Gary Stice lost control of his car. He died at UMC.
This morning, the number of apprehensions of undocumented immigrants on the southwest border has dropped, according to numbers last month. These are numbers from the Department of Homeland Security. The number is down about 36% compared to December. Officials say the number of unaccompanied children also fell by more than 50% to 54% in January. Again, this is all compared to December. All right, well, the wood shop in southern Juarez is where a group of 6 men have been working tirelessly designing and building the very special chair where Pope Francis is going to sit during his open-air mass on February 17th.
NC9 Today's Daniela Pardo takes us inside the shop to meet the artisans behind this work of art.
In this little wood shop, heated only by a makeshift furnace, is where a group of Juarez craftsmen worked tirelessly on making the Pope's chair. The owner of Muebles Coloniales got the news her shop would be in charge of the project less than 2 months ago. Luz Rodriguez in disbelief when the Juarez Diocese chose them to make all the chairs for all the events Pope Francis will attend during his historic trip to the border. Rodriguez says she's proud to show the world the work of the talented artisans in Juarez. Many pieces of furniture have been made at this wood shop for more than 50 years now, but the men who work here tell me they've never worked on something so special.
Este es más especial, más importante que he hecho en mi vida.
Victor Davila, whose hands have worked with wood for nearly 50 years, says this is the most special and important job in his life.
Un trabajo que se hizo aquí en Ciudad Juárez, 100% juarense.
The artist tells us the chairs were 100% made in Juárez, using materials from the region, such as the pine wood utilized for the 11 pieces of furniture they're making for the Pope.
Se requiere de mucha paciencia.
The masterpiece required a lot of patience and over 10 hours of labor each day. But overall, Davila and the rest of the workers call the responsibility they were given a blessing.
Pues qué bendición.
Daniela Pardo, NC9 Today.
And the shop also made the 2 chairs the Bishop of Juarez and the Cardinal of Guadalajara will use during the Mass. And don't forget, News Channel 9 is your headquarters for the Pope's visit. We have daily coverage, and you can also find information on elpasoproud.com and on our social media accounts using the hashtag NC9Pope.
Right, your time is 6:40, still ahead. How big of a role did social media play in the murder of a 13-year-old girl in Virginia? The app investigators say she was using in the days before her death. When we come back. Welcome back. This morning, concerned whether social media had a role in the murder of a 13-year-old girl in Virginia. NBC's Janet Shamlian explains.
The grief-stricken mother of Nicole Madison Lovell, living the unimaginable.
Nicole touched many people throughout her short life.
Authorities say the 13-year-old was stabbed to death, and the connection to two promising college freshmen from Virginia Tech charged in her murder may be social media. The 7th grader was active on Twitter and a Facebook forum called Teen Dating and Flirting. The night she disappeared, Nicole reportedly showed a friend texts from an 18-year-old man she said she was planning to meet. They came on a messaging app called Kik, which authorities say has been used by sexual predators.
We will not let this violence define us.
Police say 18-year-old David Eisenhower, a track star and engineering student, kidnapped and murdered Nicole. 19-year-old Natalie Keepers was originally charged with helping him get rid of the body. Authorities now say she was involved before Nicole died.
Natalie Keepers will be charged today with being an accessory before the fact to the first-degree murder of Nicole Lovell.
The 7th grader went missing last week after climbing out of her bedroom window. Her body found 80 miles away in North Carolina.
These two individuals took my daughter from this planet, and I want to know why. I want all the information I can get.
A family, a community without answers, shaken to its core. Janet Shamlian, NBC News.
And your time is 6:43. Straight up ahead, Monica's got an update on your weather. Very cold out there today, Monica.
Very cold and dry, Daniel. Today there is an increase in static electricity only because of the dry air that's spilling across the borderline from the north. We're going to talk about that and what you can expect for the rest of your work week coming up in just a moment.
But first, why President Obama is set to make his first visit to an American mosque as the leader of our nation. That's actually a little later. Stay with us.
Well, if you haven't stepped foot outside your door yet, make sure you put a lot of hairspray, put a hair tie, bring your jacket. This is going to be a very, very cold morning, right?
It's a very cold morning, and like you said, Linda, I wish I would have picked up my hair today. It's very staticky out there, too, only because the air is so dry, and so usually that causes an increase in static electricity.
I didn't know that. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a happy shuck day.
Ow. Why would you do that, Monica?
I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
But yeah, it's that kind of day today. And you know what? Not just today, tomorrow morning as well. 8 degrees right now. 8 degrees, that's what you're feeling like in Las Cruces. So we're seeing a really nice light breeze, and you can expect this nice light breeze throughout much of your morning. And so that is making us feel very cold in Las Cruces. Look at Deming. Right now, we're feeling like 0 degrees in that area, 18 in Deming, and here in El Paso, thankfully, we're still in those 20s at this point. 24 degrees is what you're feeling like as you step out that door. And so for today, this is what's going on. Basically, we're seeing that high pressure system over by Colorado, close to Kansas. And this one, what it's going to do for us, it's actually going to be keeping us with those mostly clear skies, giving us a chance to heat up a little bit here. But it's really not going to work today, only because we're still seeing that cold air mass from Canada pretty much just spilling into our area, and that is creating that very cold, dry air that we're pretty much enduring right now in El Paso and Las Cruces. Take a look at this. From Monday, we saw that snow come down, right? And yesterday, Eddie Corral took this beautiful picture of the Franklin Mountains. You can just appreciate the view. Very beautiful shot. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And this is how you can plan out your day. 28 degrees for the start of your 8 o'clock hour, 41 by lunchtime. And if you notice, really nice light winds, but those will be enough to make you feel a lot colder than it actually is. 46 degrees is your expected high for today. And as far as the rest of the borderland goes, well, 44 in Las Cruces, 45 in Deming, light winds, mostly clear skies tonight. We are going to be seeing those below freezing temperatures, 21 degrees in El Paso, 17 in Las Cruces tonight into tomorrow morning. And well, we are going to be seeing a storm system pretty much just coming in on Friday. It's going to be north of us, not really reaching us. And the only thing you can expect from that will be breezy conditions Friday into Saturday. And then we will be hitting those 60s by next week. Your El Paso Honda Golf Index for today is a 5. If you do want to go golfing, make sure you bundle up. And you know, the groundhog, he predicted an early spring.
Yep.
It's not feeling like an early spring so far.
He's a liar half of the time, though, remember.
That's true, that's true. But you know what? He's not the only animal that we can rely on for the forecast. There are several animals. Florcore says cows lie down when cold weather is expected. Research suggests cows stand longer when it's warm to keep their core warmer. This affects milk production. Now, there is also reference from an 1883 arming book suggesting dogs can sense when bad weather is approaching because they can have joint sensitivity to changes in barometric pressure.
That one's true.
I think so too. And lastly, a Woman's Day magazine says frogs croak louder when bad weather is approaching. Now, I don't know how to tell between a low croak and a loud croak.
Yeah, I don't have many frogs around me, so I don't know about that one.
I don't know either.
Now, how reliable are these animals?
You know what? We don't have scientific evidence or really reliable research that says, yes, it's true. Frogs do croak louder.
Well, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
That's interesting now. Thanks, Monica.
Your time now is 6:49. Still ahead, President Obama is set to make his first visit to an American mosque as the leader of our nation. We'll explain the purpose of his trip after the break. Welcome back. Your time now is 6:52. New York real estate heir Robert Durst is expected to be back in court today in New Orleans, Louisiana. Durst is expected to enter a plea on felony, firearm, and drug charges in New Orleans. The 72-year-old millionaire has been without bail since his arrest last year, which happened the day before the final episode of an HBO crime documentary about his life. Durst is also facing a first-degree murder charge in California. A House Oversight Committee is scheduled to hold a hearing at the nation's capital on the Safe Drinking Water Act in Flint, Michigan. Flint's tap water was contaminated with lead after the source switched from Detroit to the Flint River in 2014. It was a cost-cutting move made while the city was under state financial management. Residents started complaining about the appearance, smell, and taste of the water shortly after the switch and say no one in the state government would listen to them. And Barack Obama is about to make his first visit to an American mosque as president. Obama is scheduled to visit the Islamic Society of Baltimore today. A senior administration official says the president will celebrate Muslim Americans' contributions to the nation. He will also, quote, reaffirm the importance of religious freedom to our way of life. And your time now is 6:54. Weather and your headlines after the break and coming up on the Today Show.
Good morning. Straight ahead on today, the storm system that dumped heavy snow on the plains and spawned tornadoes in the south is now moving east. Al will tell us what to expect today. Also ahead, two presidential hopefuls, Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, will join us live. Plus, pets on a plane. Airline passengers abusing the system to bring all types of animals on flights for free. Our Rawson Reports team reveals just how easy it is. And could your relationship survive the marriage test? We'll meet a couple who decided to put themselves through the ringer on purpose when we see you right here on Today.
All right, your time now is 6:57. Let's take a look at your local headlines. The death of a 16-year-old boy in Far East El Paso County is now a homicide investigation. Deputies say they found Michael Anthony Tapio's body Sunday evening in Montana Vista. Investigators haven't said how he died, but they do say he was already dead when they arrived.
And new information on that deadly collision we told you about yesterday morning. Police have identified the man who crashed into a flight of stairs at the Sunrise Shopping Center along Dyer in northeast El Paso. Investigators say for some reason, 58-year-old Gary Stice lost control of his car. He died at UMC.
And the city of Sunland Park has a new interim city manager. In a split vote, City Council appointed Bob Gallagher. This comes weeks after Gallagher, a former chairman of the NMSU Board of Regents, told the council no thanks to the job. Gallagher will serve as interim city manager for the next 6 months. Monica.
And if you're heading out that door, I-10 in Geronimo, this is a live picture of what you can expect. Not a lot of traffic at this hour, which is great news for you. And over by I-10 in Yarborough, look at that. Not a lot of congestion just yet, but do expect to see, of course, this getting a lot worse as the morning continues. And you know what? For your Waze app, right now we are pretty much monitoring places across El Paso, and it looks to be pretty clear at this hour. And for your weather, look at this. Right now, if you're heading out that door, you're going to feel like 24 degrees in El Paso. It's going to feel like 12 degrees in Las Cruces and 18 in Deming. A very chilly start this morning. Slowly, we'll begin to heat up here, but not by much. Look at that. Topping out at 46 degrees for today. 51 tomorrow. At least we'll be in those 50s tomorrow. And then those upper 50s come in Friday and Saturday. Breezy conditions. And then we hit those 60s by the beginning of next week.
So as we told you all morning, make sure you bring your jacket, bundle up. It's cold.
Yeah, it's very cold, and get those double jackets tomorrow. It's going to be even colder.
All right. Going to be nice, though, about a week from now.
Yeah,
So
it should be really nice.
Sit tight.
Can you believe it? 61 is average for this time of the year, and
That
we're
is
well below
interesting,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in February. That's a
I
pretty
know,
high
right?
average.
It is. Well, it is El Paso for you.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. The Today Show is coming up next. Have a great morning, everybody.
Bye.